What are the best passports in Europe? In today's video, I'll be going over the best citizenships and best passports in Europe within the European Union, but also looking at countries that are not yet in the EU to find out if you are looking to do a European diversification, what are the best passports to look at? Starting off with countries within the EU, I have talked about these passports before, as I still maintain that the majority of these are some of the best European passports in the world, especially if you are looking to get second citizenship and gain access to the EU or the Schengen area. And the first one that's worth talking about would be the Irish citizenship and the Irish passport. Now, the reason why the Irish passport is so popular among many non-EU citizens, especially British citizens, is because of its ease of access for people to naturalise there. For example, a very popular move you see with British citizens is a strategy known as citizenship by descent, where basically, let's say you have an Irish parent or an Irish grandparent, you can have Irish citizenship because you have family ties there. Another reason is because of its open border, common travel area. Let's say, for example, you are a UK citizen who lives on the island of Great Britain. Well, then you relocate to the Republic of Ireland. And after completing the residency requirements there, which is fairly easy to do because you do have free movement there under the common travel area rules, you can naturalise in the country after 5 years, which is the common trope for multiple European Union countries. However, the one thing that Ireland has as an incentive for British citizens is that British citizens do not need to worry about getting a visa to move to Ireland as they would do if they want to move to a country like Poland now. So that's the reason why Ireland is so popular. And another reason why it's so good is because it allows dual citizenship, which is monumental, especially if we're looking at passport diversification. And now the next passport on this list would have to be the Maltese citizenship or the Maltese passport. Now this is more accessible to people who are looking to get EU citizenship through citizenship by investment, as Malta does have one of the most popular citizenship by investment programs out there. It's fairly costly. It's going to cost you between 600,000 to 1 million euros. There are some residency requirements as well that you have to be aware of. You know, the more you pay, the faster tracked it is. But let's say you pay the normal amount in the CBI program. Obviously, there's a 3-year residency, and it can take about 1 to 2 years as well. So it's a very long program, especially if we compare it to a Caribbean CBI program. But you know, Malta is still accessible in that regard. You can get EU citizenship, you can get the Maltese passport and live anywhere in Europe after you naturalise. So I would say that Malta is also a really good passport to have, and it also obviously allows dual nationality, which I think is extremely important, especially for someone who is looking to get multiple passports around Europe. You're not going to want to naturalise in any country, then that government comes up to you and says, hey, you know, you've naturalised in our country, welcome, but under our law you have to renounce your other citizenships. That's not going to be something that you're looking for. And obviously, one other passport that you see that is popular among some older Brits who are relocating to Europe, perhaps they bought a property there back in the day and they got residency and they did the residency, would be the Portuguese passport. Now, yes, Portugal does seem to have a golden visa program going as well, but it's a bit all over the place. You know, one day it's expired, one day they're terminating it, the other day they're bringing it back. So I won't really get into that because I don't know too much about it. But still, Portugal is a very popular passport that I see some British expatriates doing especially. Yes, they are in the older demographic, but once again, if you have a Portuguese parent or a grandparent and you want to do citizenship by descent, then by all means, that one will work as well. Very strong passport, not just inside of Europe. And again, Portugal allows dual nationality, and Portugal is a great country. I've been to Portugal, and it's a super good country. I really like the lifestyle there. It's got that Mediterranean lifestyle going, especially in the south. So Portugal, I'd say, is a very strong passport and a very good citizenship to look at if you are looking to relocate to Europe. And now moving on to the non-European Union passports, but countries that are still in the European continent. Obviously, the first one would be the UK passport, because the UK passport, although it has left the European Union and has lost its free movement with all EU countries apart from the Republic of Ireland, again under the common travel area, the British passport is still very strong on the international sector. Now, yes, they are going to be restricted on their entry into EU even further, starting from around 2025 with this new ETIAS program, this digital visa thing. But if a UK citizen wants to travel to the Americas, you know, they're on the visa waiver program for the US. You know, they've got very strong reps among Central and South America, very strong passports. They've got the Australia, New Zealand, they've got both working holiday visas available to them as well, which I don't think every country does. And now moving into the Balkan area, there are two citizenships in this Balkan area that I think are worth talking about. The first one would be quite obvious if you watch any other citizenship YouTubers, that would be Serbia. The Serbian citizenship and Serbian passport is interesting. A lot of people like to say that it's rare because it has visa-free access to Russia, which I suppose in Europe it is rare. However, if we compare it to the international sector, you look at a South African passport, an Argentinian passport, Chilean passport, something like that, Emirati, it's not that rare. All of those countries also have visa-free access to Russia for like 90 days or what have you. So I wouldn't really say that Serbia is rare for having visa-free access to Russia. I suppose if you want to bring up the argument that because it's in Europe it is rare, then fair enough. But what I find interesting with Serbia is that it has visa-free access to China. And yes, some other EU countries are having that opened up to them, but it is very rare for me to find any country in the world that has visa-free access to China, but Serbia does. And also, one good thing with Serbia is that it grants you access to the open Balkan area. So, if you are looking to do work in the Balkans or live in the Balkans, having a Balkan passport is going to help you. It's the same logic as if you want to live in the Caribbean, perhaps having a CARICOM passport will be beneficial to you because the open Balkan area is sort of a mini Schengen area, with countries like North Macedonia. And this ties me on nicely to the other passport that I'm going to talk about. That would be the Montenegrin passport. Now, there are some flaws that we need to talk about with the Montenegrin passport, especially if you are looking to naturalise it and get second citizenship. Montenegro is a strong passport. Yes, once again, it's very similar to Serbia in the sense that it doesn't have the USA, Canada, Australia, these types of countries. But one thing that I think weakens Montenegro if we compare it to Serbia is that Serbia allows dual nationality. So, you naturalise in Serbia, the Serbian government aren't going to say, hey, you're naturalising in our country, give up your other passports. Whereas the Montenegrin passport, if you get that, the law does say that they do not accept dual nationality, and they make no discrimination whether you are a natural-born Montenegrin citizen or whether you are naturalising there. Chances are you're going to be striped of your citizenship. So, in my opinion, in regards to the Balkans, out of these two countries, I would have to give the better passport to Serbia, mainly because of their dual nationality allowance. In my opinion, Serbia is a little bit stronger with China, although that is subjective whether you even care about going to China or not. But all in all, I would have to give the best non-EU passports to either the UK or Serbia. Serbia, if you are looking at visa-free country maximisation, but then again, the UK also has some countries that Serbia doesn't, like the US on the E2 ESTA programme. So it really does depend upon what countries you are looking for. Let me know which citizenship and passport sounds the best to you, and if you like this video, you can click right here and subscribe to get some information on YouTube. And if you want to follow me on my other social medias, you can follow me on Instagram, X, and Rumble. They'll all be linked down below in the description.